Hey guys, Vazzy back here, and today we have an extremely exciting video as we will be simulating the PWHL season here in NHL 24. So if you guys haven't seen on Twitter, I've been hard at work creating all the PWHL teams here in NHL 24, and today I wanted to put them all in a custom league to see who will come out the winner for this season. So before we get into it, let's just take a look at some of the league settings and we'll start the simulation. So again, this is kind of to show you guys if you guys wanted to set this up yourself in your own custom leagues here. Obviously there's 6 teams. I just have salary cap off. It doesn't really matter for this at all. And secondly, from the research I did, each team will be playing 24 game season for the 6 teams. So make sure you set it to that. Round robin can be off. You don't need that for this simulation. And I also found that the point format is a little bit different than the NHL. It's closer to the World Junior kind of system that they use, where if you win, you get 3 points. If you win in overtime or a shootout, you get 2. And if you lose in overtime or a shootout, you get 1 point. So it makes each game a little bit more valuable that you really do want to win that in regulation if possible. And to qualify for playoffs, I didn't really change anything here. I don't know if they've really announced anything yet. Just wanted to make sure that it is said that 4 teams do qualify for the playoffs in this simulation. And then lastly here, looking at the playoff format itself, the slight issue is that the PWHL actually haven't announced anything, at least that I've seen. All the research I did said that a playoff format was coming, so I kind of had to improvise myself here. I just did a best of 3, alternating between home and away for this simulation. And just looking at the team overalls here before we actually jump into franchise mode, all the teams are at least an 83 overall, ranging from 83 to 85, that being Toronto, that being us, being the most heavily rated. The players and everything, if they're in NHL 24 itself, I recreated them with the exact same rating, and if they weren't, I kind of had to improvise based on draft position, international play, and everything like that. But hey, now that we actually have all the rules and the regulations, the format all taken care of, let's jump into the actual league here. We'll skip through the preseason, we'll get everything started here at the start of the regular season. And also, when using a custom league here, I do just want to mention it. If you didn't see the World Junior setup video, I also have for the AHL teams, 6 created teams all blank, just so that the players won't be getting called up. But yeah, if you haven't seen my World Junior setup video, definitely take a look at that, as it is a very similar format to this, just using those teams, just to try and keep the rosters here that we created. Just scrolling through everything, you can kind of see that here. Everyone that I've created is actually on the right team, positions, everything, all that should be all right. But yeah, I gotta say it's actually really cool seeing the women in actual franchise mode here. Unfortunately, EA doesn't let us move the official ones over to custom leagues, franchises, for whatever reason, so had to recreate them all here myself for the simulation and for your guys' enjoyment as well. But there we go. Now that we've gone through all the teams, let's get started with the actual simulation here itself. I want to say this, yeah, runs till April. Have our 24 game season there, so we do lose our season opener there to the Boston PWHL team. I gotta say, it's really good actually having like a real women's hockey league here now. I know in the previous years we've had the 2 kind of divided ones, but now having one actual unified league is really good to see. I think it's going to really help grow the game. Hopefully we can get the official PWHL teams in NHL, maybe 25. I don't know if they have any agreements or anything like that. I guess we'll have to wait and see as time goes on, but it's really good to see. It's really good hockey if you haven't checked it out. I've seen some highlights and all that stuff, yeah. Looks really, really good for sure, so. As we go back to the simulation here, our team is currently doing very well, as we sit 17-7-0 in the regular season. And hey, it actually looks like that is good enough to win the President's Trophy for this league. Take a look at all the standings, and yeah, we do actually win that here. Very good to see. We are the highest rated, so makes sense as well. So we were number 1, Boston 2, Minnesota 3, New York 4, and Ottawa and Montreal unfortunately do slip out of it there at 4 and 5. Here's a quick look at the standings of the league. Let's take a look at some of the point scorers here throughout the league, see who's kind of leading the league and all that. So Blair Turnbull Natalie Spooner, Alina Miller, Sarah Nurse there, and Hillary Knight. A lot of the names that you would expect to see up there are leading the league in scoring, which is great to see. Fast on our team, Stecklin, LaRock. A lot of those big names, yeah, definitely leading their way as well for their own respective teams. Frankel, the best goalie, Helmsley, Campbell, leading the way when it comes to goaltending. Moschmeyer there on Ottawa. But there's a look at how all the points turned out for players and the teams. Let's take a look at the playoffs here. We'll jump into all these games since they're only 3-game series. See if we can win ourselves a PWHL title, as we will be kicking things off against the New York City team here. So game 1, let's jump into it. First period, 1-all. Comfer and Eldridge. Let's see, second period here, 4-2, we take the lead. That is very good to see, our out shooting them, and we do hold on. Abby Roque adds 1, but we do hold on for the 4-3 win. So there is game number 1 in the books. Let's see if we can sweep them here 2-0. As we load in, first period, 1-0 Toronto, Jones for us. 1-1, Packer for them on the power play. And in the third, nothing, going to overtime, and Vespa does win it for them in game number 2. So series is all tied up heading back to Toronto here. Let's see if we can take it, or let's see if New York will be going to the finals. First period, 2-all. Decent amount of scoring there. Jaguar gets 2 for them. Jaguar adds the hat trick. Baker, Fast, and Nurse, as this game is tied at 4. Third period, Natalie Spooner does come in clutch, wins it for us, and we will be going to the Stanley Cup final, I guess you could say, in this universe of the PWHL, and we will be facing Minnesota in that. So let's get things underway. First game here in Toronto, 2-0 us, Knowles and Miller. Second period here, 1 for them, Zoomwinkle. Let's see, third period, we do hang on, Compler adds 1 for us, as we do win 3-1. So, let's go to the second game here, and again, let's see if it'll be a sweep, or if Minnesota will take us to game number 3. First period, 1-0 Toronto, Sarah Nurse on the power play past Helmsley. Second period, it is 2-1 for us. I think I'm going to go through this slowly here, try and jump in and see the celebration here if we can hold on. Natalie Spooner gives us the 3-1 lead with about 10 minutes left to play, as Minnesota is just out shooting us here. Pretty even though overall. 5 minutes, 4 minutes, still holding that lead. Can I pause the simulation here? Doesn't look like I did it in time, unfortunately. But hey, either way, the Toronto PWHL team does end up winning the title here in this simulation. That is awesome to see, as yeah, there's the prompt for that. Take a look at the league awards here quickly before we end the video. So obviously we are the Stanley Cup champions and the President's Trophy winners of this universe. Turnbull gets the Art Ross and the Hart, Fast gets the Norris, Bradbury gets the Lady Bing Trophy, Muller gets the Calder, Spooner with the Conn Smythe, Helmsley with the Jennings and the Vesna, Harmon with the Bill Masterton, our coach gets the Jack Adams, Zelke goes to Jenner, Lindsay goes to Turnbull, and Spooner gets the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy. But I do think that is going to do it for today's video on simulating the PWHL's regular season and playoffs. Definitely let me know if you guys tried this out yourself. Roster will be coming live with all these teams very shortly, but until then, I'll see you all in the next one.